Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The story of Nexus Enterprise is one of the foresight and paradox. For a decade, your company has become a beacon in industry with a pioneer flexible work model, attracting countless top talents. However, as we can see today, this model has also brought unaccepted challenges, a vibrant but empty headquarters. Our task is to unravel this paradox. According to Harvard Business School professor Rosabeth Moss-Kanter's Master of Change theory, true organizational change is not a top-down directive, but a cultural evolution led by a leader. What Nexus need at this moment is a master of change to lead the company's culture to the next stage.
In order to better understand this challenge, we will first delve into the long-term impact of flexible work models and balance strategies. While flexible work arrangements can bring significant benefits, they can also pose risks to organizational culture and employee engagement. Research shows that long-term remote work can lead to social isolation and reduce employee engagement, making it difficult for employees to understand the connection between their work and organizational goals, and can also affect motivation and the sense of belonging due to loneliness and alienation from colleagues. At the same time, the lack of face-to-face interaction can hinder team creativity and the integration of new members, further weakening organizational cohesion. This challenge is reflected in the differentiation and integration paradox described by Anna et al. They pointed out that at the individual level, a hybrid work style can promote the integration of employees' work and life, enhance autonomy and flexibility. But at the team level, it will exacerbate differentiation, lead to coordination difficulties, and reduce cohesion. If not intervened, it may split the nexus culture and reduce productivity and employee satisfaction. In addition, from the perspective of psychological and behavioral dynamics, employees' motivation to participate in face-to-face interactions stems from the need for social connections, creative collaboration, and career development through mentoring and knowledge sharing. However, barriers such as convenience of remote work, family responsibilities, inertia, and fear of exclusion and coordination difficulties in hybrid office environments hinder employees' office participation. Flexible working is like a double-edged sword with advantages and disadvantages. On the one hand, it gives employees unprecedented work autonomy. They can adjust their time rhythm, balance family and career needs, and even get rid of consumption of commuting. But on the other hand, the physical distance can easily dilute the emotional connection between colleagues, leading to the breeding of social isolation, and those creative sparks that rely on instant collisions and deep collaborations that require body language assistance will also gradually decrease due to the screen barrier, which will weaken the team's cohesion and innovation momentum in the long run. For the Nexus, the core challenge is how to maintain the autonomy and satisfaction advantages brought by flexible working, while actively solving the social and collaboration dilemmas derived from it. In this regard, Nexus can improve the attractiveness of face-to-face work while respecting employees' flexibility needs by improving the office environment and carrying out valuable activities. We propose 5 specific strategies to improve this situation. Firstly, redesign office space to promote sustainable interactions by adding small rooms, open spaces, and collaborative areas. Encourage voluntary participation rather than mandatory attendance. Enhance social connections and knowledge sharing while retaining flexibility. Secondly, hold meaningful offline activities such as team building, creative workshops, and social gatherings to highlight the unique value of face-to-face interactions and provide provide experiences that cannot be replicated by remote work, to rebuild a common sense of purpose and community. In addition, at the individual level, encourage employees to set clear boundaries between work and life to prevent stress and burnout caused by over-integration. And at the team level, reduce differentiation by promoting synchronous communication and informal interactions. At the same time, ensure that employees have opportunities to participate in mentoring programs and knowledge sharing courses to enhance a sense of belonging and career development, and address isolation and reduce learning opportunities caused by remote work. Finally, play a leadership role model with executives and managers leading by example, working in the office regularly and participating in face-to-face communication activities, demonstrating the value of face-to-face interactions and establishing norms that encourage employee attendance. By implementing these strategies, Nexus can able to maintain its commitment to flexibility, create collaborative culture, address the psychological and organizational dynamics issues in the flexibility paradox, and meeting the needs for face-to-face interaction, continuously leading progressive workplace policies.
Thank you, Jana. Your analysis of the long-term impacts precisely identifies the core issue. We must find a new balance between employee autonomy and organizational belonging. Now, I will divide into the most difficult challenge behind this balance, the tension between nexus, corporate identity, and the growing need for in-person collaboration. The root of nexus dilemma lies in the tension within core identity. On one hand, its reputation as a flexible work pioneer is an invaluable, intangible asset. On the other hand, the push for in-person interaction seems to contradict this identify. Any mandatory return to office police could be perceived as a battle, touching up on sensitive area of conflict, negotiation, and power in organization behavior. Recent academic studies confirm that this identity tension is a central challenge in global flexible work arrangements. We can use organizational culture theorists in dark Shen's model to discuss this issue more clearly. At the visible level, we see the empty office. At the level of as Porsche's values, Nexus champions trust and autonomy. But the core problem is that the basic underlying assumption among employees has quality. Shift from flexibility is a tool to empower us to create value for the company to flexibility is my individual right. It is this shift that has created the disconnect between the company's value and its reality. Therefore, in addressing this challenge, we must not overlook its ethical and practical implications. A mandatory police would be unfair to those employees who specifically chose Nexus because of disabilities, caregiving responsibilities, or other constraints. constraints. This is not just a moral consideration, it could also carry legal risks. Research also reminds us that employees from different cultural backgrounds adapt to and persuade stress from remote work difficulty, which demand that our solution be inclusive and personalized.
Reignite the office leadership-driven return. According to Martenson and Edmondson, time-different return to office methods trigger widespread backlash and damage trust in leadership. In plain terms, rolling out the rule without understanding what employees really need breeds resentment and erode confidence and management. This is why our executive team will lead by example. Commuting to at least 15 field days on set each month. You will see our CEO and other senior leaders honest face-to-face strategy sessions, training and project reviews. In person, you demonstrate the real value of live collaboration. At the same time, we'll introduce a phased attendance plan to help us ease back into the office. First, we'll hold a quality all-hands meeting every 3 months. Next, we'll gather in small groups for bi-monthly check-ins to discuss wins, challenge, and next. Finally, each of us will meet our manager for monthly one-on-one in the office. This approach gradually ramps us from 3-5 days per month toward the goal of 10-15 days. With clear intensives means the mandatory season affect attendance bonus, but on set day learn coffee breaks, snack, and other perks. Face attendance and engaging perks. Besides on share endorphin, perceived autonomy is key to engagement, so we'll make our office space both fun and flexible. Think green ponds and whiteboard walls for brainstorms, games corner with chairs or quick quiz for 5 minute breaks, and the office point system. You can redeem for gift cards, wellness seasons, or extra quiet focus hour. We will also host a monthly Survive Together raffle with prizes ranging from desk plan to family care launches. Imagine walking by large wall of plants, high-fiving a teammates over a whiteboard sketch and grabbing a ladder for a productive afternoon. This vibe will unfold. So we need visible leadership, a gradual attendance plan, and the irresistible perks will transform our office from the choice to choice. I'm excited to see our hallways buzzing with ideas and our teams connecting face to face.
Let's now look at how Nexus can solve the engagement paradox by replacing rigid office rules with smarter engagement strategies and a stronger employer value proposition. Rather than focusing employees back to the office, we suggest using rewards and breakable weeks to connect. Let's start with the first part, motivation over mandates. To begin, consider why they should avoid rigid mandates. While they may help in the short term, mandatory work days often reduce the trust, lower motivation, and blur roles. In contrast, we suggest linking attendance to growth rewards, such as career coaching and visibility into key projects. From a behavior economics view, default hybrid days encourage a return without pressure. For example, people who are in the office more often can learn new skills or routine work. They can often get help from older staff, which makes coming in feel useful. This brings us to the second part, redefining EVP through belonging. Nexus has long used flexibility as part of its employer value proposition, or EVP, but workplace freedom alone is not enough. It's easy to copy and lacks long-term view. This is just focusing on belonging, growth, and psychological safety. In this light, Nexus should shift from freedom to escape to smarter flexibility, making presence meaningful, not forced. This kind of change starts with open leadership, staff meetings, feedback systems, and clear communication explain why the change is needed. When people feel they belong, can grow, and are mentally safe, their engagement naturally rises. Next, let's move to the second point. Inclusive design for engagement. This also brings up the moral side of engagement. Not all employees have equal freedom to adjust their schedules. When responsibilities don't match someone's job or seem unfair, it can cause emotion stress and exclusion. This is just adjustment for employees with family responsibility or health needs. From a design point of view, activity-based flexible work doesn't work the same for everyone. Some employees do well in this space. They feel focused and creative, but others find it hard to adjust. They may feel left out or even uncomfortable. This shows that people have different needs, and flexible work should be planned in a way that supports those differences. Finally, we turn to the fourth area, bottom-up strategies and talent attraction. In addition to form policies, the action plans of frontline employees cannot be ignored. When employees face the conflicting demands, like working alone while also needing to collaborate, they self-manage using simple strategies such as modify work, seeking help, or moving workspace. This shows that bottom-up actions are often more sustainable than top-down control. When flexibility design aligns with employees' roles, it greatly improves appeal to job seekers. They not only helps keep current staff, but also attracts talents who value autonomy and purpose. To sum up, Nexus should move beyond mandates and build its engagement strategies around the growth, fairness, and a common sense of purpose, where coming to work is not an obligation, but an opportunity.
Thank you all for exploring Nash's challenge and the way forward. We recognize that while our flexible work model bonds autonomy, it has scattered our culture and disconnected our people. When they examined 5 strategies, redesign space, hosting meaningful events, balancing individual and team needs. By example, to rebuild our connection, we also acknowledged that our identity as a flexible work pioneer has shifted and needs through for evolution rather than blunt mandate. Looking ahead, our aim is to blend flexibility and connection into one seamless experience. Imagine choosing to come into because every meeting, workshop, or coffee break adds value you can't get online. Picture green ponds for quick brainstorming, game corner for 5 minutes recharge, and point system that celebrate contribution. In the next quarter, we will polish these ideas in one department, gather feedback, and refine our approach. We will track participation, feedback, and productivity in mission impact. Then we will scale up, always listening and adapting. Success won't be measured by the day at the desk but by the energy, creativity, and the connection you bring to nations. Together, we can honor two inheritance of flexibility while embracing the power of the human collaboration. The future of work, the nations begin here. Let's make the plans where everyone wants to be. Thank you.